Hello, hello, hello. Hi there. Bit of a different thing going on here today. Hopefully my computer is going to do okay. Hello, Miss Maddie. You want a cheesy biscuit? Want a cheesy biscuit? There you go. Cheesy biscuits are keeping Maddie on camera right now because she's a lovely girl. Hello, baby. And it's her gotcha day. It's Miss Maddie's gotcha day. Oh, no, she's gone. She does not like the camera being on. Hi, baby. You can sit there. It's okay. Hey, Rach. Sorry about the mess in the background. We moved things to put the truck and they didn't get tidied away. No, she's gone. Mr. Boo's here. Would you like a cheese crisp? You'd like a cheesy biscuit. There you go. And she's back again. Come up then. Come up and sit by Mommy and have a cheesy biscuit. Oh, you'll come up and have a cheesy biscuit. Hey, Jane. Miss Maddie will not come on camera these days. Anyway, today is going to be a short one because I did a 9-hour stream yesterday and I'm doing another long stream tomorrow for you guys. But I was just sitting here with my between films. We just watched Miracle on 34th Street because we believe in Santa. We believe in Santa, don't we, Mr. Boo? Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Do you believe in Santa Paws? Do you believe in Santa Paws, Scooby? Do you believe in Santa Paws? He says, I believe in cheese biscuits, Mum. She is having a good day. She just polished off the rest of her cake. Hey, Brenda. We missed you at the party yesterday. Were you working? I've just spoken to KK today as well. She says hi, and she says she hopes you're all having a good Christmas. She's our admin over on RhomanysRealm. Christmas Eve, also known as Gotcha Day. Yes, we're coming to you from the other corner of the lounge today because I was comfy and I've just done my nails and they're wet and I can't be arsed with going over there and setting up just for 10 minutes to come back over here. Hey, Ave. Happy Gotcha Day to Maddie. Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. Yes. So one of the Q&A questions I had, I was going to do a Q&A today, and I will answer other questions. If people have got other questions, put them in the live chat in capital letters so I can see them. But one of the questions I had, I only had got about 3, and I think I've answered most of them, was are Maddie and Scooby rescues and how old are they? So I thought since today is Maddie's Gotcha Day, I would just do a quick tell about the doggies because technically, kind of, tomorrow is Scooby-Doo's Gotcha Day. Kind of. We don't celebrate it tomorrow because it's Christmas Eve. It's a bit too much. We have Maddie's Gotcha Day, then we have Christmas Eve, we have Christmas Day, we have Boxing Day, we have a couple of days off. Auntie Tracy comes to see everybody. That's a big excitement day for everybody, isn't it, Scoop, when Auntie Tracy comes? And then we have New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all that. It's too much. So we have Scooby's Gotcha Day in April. I'll tell you why in a minute. You remember when you got her? Yes. Well, you remember when I had the cats. Because you've been hanging around a long time. I've known you since before I started doing this, when we were just hanging around on Willowing. So, yeah, I've known you a long time, Ave. Must be a decade now, at least. That has to be because I started teaching officially. I started teaching in January 2008, and I knew you before that. So, yeah, Ave, we've known each other 10 years and more. Oh, dear. Time fly, eh? Anyway, once upon a time, it was a Christmas Eve, I'm not good with maths. I can't tell you if it's 6 or 7 years ago. I can tell you that Maddie was my 40th birthday present, and I will be 47 in January. So I think it must be her 7th. But it confuses me because she's 8. I get confused with numbers. I'm not good with numbers. But I think it's her 7th Gotcha Day. Anyway, I had been thinking about getting a dog. And I was thinking of going to the rescue or a local rescue in January, because I knew that intakes are high over Christmas. And I thought, you know, come January, I might go and see if I can get maybe a slightly older dog that's good with cats. Oh gosh, I started my YouTube channel in 2006. So you've been around a long time. Oh, Costa Rica. Hello, Daniel. Wow. Yeah, I had decided I was going to get a doggo. And I was talking to a friend of mine who was picking up a bloodhound from a rescue. They didn't know how old she was. She was a dire case. They couldn't leave her in the kennels over Christmas. And my friend said, you know what? I'm gonna go and get her. I'm not leaving this dog in there. She actually, true story, she ended up keeping her. Today would have been her 7th Gotcha Day, but very sadly, Abby passed away on the 4th of December this year. So she had a very, very large growth on her stomach. They weren't expecting her to make it past the summer, but she did. She made it through to December, and then she couldn't do it anymore. So sadly, she's not with us. But yeah, my friend was talking about picking up this dog, and I was saying, I'm so jealous. I really want to pop her. I really want to pop her. I'm 40 now. I still don't feel old enough to have kids, but I feel like I'm responsible enough to have a dog. I've kept 2 cats alive for 15 years. I think I'm old enough now to have a dog. Upgrade. So she kind of enabled me and encouraged me and said, you know, there's plenty of dogs around now. It's just before Christmas, and there are horrible people who will be putting their older dogs out to pasture because they've just got a new puppy. So just don't wait. Just look. The right dog will turn up. So I went up to the local dog's home, ostensibly because I was bored, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to pop up to the local dog's home and go and walk some dogs. It was what I used to do when I couldn't have a dog. I would go up and, you know, play with the dogs up there and walk them and everything else. And they had these puppies. Not baby babies. They were 8 months old. They'd just been released for adoption because they had all been spayed. They were all female. Mum had been adopted. Someone had dropped their German Shepherd off at the dog's home because she got pregnant because they were too lazy to get her spayed. Mum got adopted right away by one of the staff. Mum was a German Shepherd, and the people who turned her in said they were fairly sure that the other dog was their friend's Staffy. And the 6 pups went up for adoption, and they had literally just put them up as I got there. And I said, oh, I can't resist a puppy. She said they've just come out of being spayed last week. They're ready for human contact, you know. So why don't you go play with them for a bit? And I thought, how could you resist? 6 puppies, how could you resist? And I walked in, and they were in one of these kind of half kennels that they put pups in, where it's like really soft and plush on one side and it's just concrete on the other, and to get them used to different surfaces and stuff. And I just went in and I sat down, and this little one came over to me, and I said hi, because you do. Well, I do. You know, a dog comes over to me, I'm like, hi, friend. And yeah, she came over and put her head on my knee. I was like, okay, she's lovely. I really like this one. And I was going to go and pick her up. I didn't decide then and there. I thought, oh, I'll hold your horses. I thought, well, I don't know. I don't know. I decided to wait. I would do the adult thing. They were open Christmas Eve as well. So I said, okay, I'll do the adult thing and I will wait. I got home, and by the time I got home, I'd already decided no way in hell was I going to wait. So I drove back and she was gone. The one that had come up to me was gone. And so were two of the others. So in the hour or so it had taken me to drive home, have a cup of coffee, decided I wanted her, and drive back again, she was gone. I've made an error in the story, by the way. It wasn't Christmas Eve. It was the week before Christmas. Christmas Eve, my friend was going to pick up her dog, and I wish I'd got my dog. I wish I'd got my dog last week. I wanted that pupper, and she's not mine. And again, she said, right, dog will come along. I've waited for Abby for 2 weeks. She's ready. She's coming. Kind of spoils the story now because I get my dates wrong. I'm sorry. Not really. Hello, Miss Maddie. Hi. Strange thing happened. My friends had got a dog for Christmas the week before. And I was going to go over and see them. And they said, yeah, we just got this dog. We're not sure if we're going to keep her, though, because she's a lot of trouble. She's very feisty. She's very into everything. And, you know, we're not sure if we're going to keep her. They're not friends of mine anymore. They turned out to be very dodgy people. I hadn't known them very long. Hey, Martha. But I was going over to see them, and I went over. And the minute I sat down, this dog came out of nowhere and crawled up beside me. And I said, where did you get that dog from? She looks awfully familiar. And they said, oh, yeah, we got her from the dog's home last week. And guess who it was? Now you can say meant to be. I'm sorry, I mess up the dates, you see. I get the story wrong. Now you can say it was meant to be. Yes, it was Maddie. I know. I couldn't believe it either. I was like, is somebody pranking me or something? But, you know, I was okay with it because, you know, they were, at the time, I thought, oh, they were nice people. You know, should be all right with them. But it was like, no, she's too much hassle. She's like, she's really like super hyper. And this dog is like, and funnily enough, she hasn't changed weight since I got her. This dog over here. Hi. Hello, baby. I love you. We all love Miss Maddie. She says, yeah, I love chocolate. I love cheesy biscuits. Give me the cheesy biscuits. She'd only been there a week. Well, it turned out, gently. Oh, such a good girl. You got to wait now because Boo has to have one too. They're not allowed to have one without the other. Sit down nicely. You don't get biscuits unless you sit nicely. Good boy. Good boy. I'm annoyed now because I messed up the story. I know. She's my baby. She's never put on an ounce of weight. She's been 26.4 since I got her. The only thing that's changed is that her body went sleek. She was small-headed and chubby-bodied, and her body went sleek and her head just kept getting bigger. And at that point, we confirmed that she definitely was part Staffy. So she's Staffy German Shepherd. Mum was a German Shepherd. Dad was a very, very athletic Staffy, apparently. And this is what happens. Hi, Maddie. You can say hello to everybody. You're leaving Santa paws. Is Santa coming to see you? Watch this. Watch her reaction. Guess what, Miss Maddie? Guess who's coming next week? Auntie Tracy's coming next week. Auntie Tracy's coming. Look at that face. Auntie Tracy's coming to see you. Not today. Oh, she's huffs now. You say no, not today. She goes like a teenager. Hi, baby. I love you. Whatevs. Whatevs. You told me porkies about Auntie Tracy. No, she is coming to see you next week, I promise. She's coming next week, I promise. And Nana and Grandpa. We talked to Nana and Grandpa on the phone, didn't we? She says, shut up already and give me more treats. Do you want another big cheesy biscuit? You sit pretty for a cheesy biscuit. Will you sit pretty for a cheesy biscuit? Sit pretty. You want a cheesy biscuit? Sit pretty then. Sit pretty. Oh, good girl. Okay, sit nicely now. Wait. Good girl. Gently. There we go. So, yeah, anyway. I later found out that the guys that I got her from, the friends, actually had a habit of going to dog homes and rescues and getting a dog and paying like 20 quid for them and then selling them on. So they're not friends of mine anymore, and I warned the dogs home about them and all the local rescues. But yeah, it was meant to be. I mean, she took to me straight away. And then when I went to see my friend and he was like, oh yeah, we're getting rid of her. We're sending her back. And it was her. I was like, no, you're not. So I gave them some money. I gave them their adoption fee. I requested the receipt because I'm mean. They had paid £50 for her, actually, from the dog's home because she was a puppy and she'd already been spayed and vaccinated. They only had her like less than a week. And they had food and stuff for her. They bought food and stuff. So I took the food and the toys and the leash and everything else. And we came home on the bus, didn't we? We went for a ride on the bus, didn't we? You like going for a ride on the bus? Yes. Look at those ears. She says, I like to go bye-bye on the bus, Mama. She prefers going bye-bye in the car, but she likes to go bye-bye on the bus. Yes. We like bye-bye on the bus, don't we? She also likes her belly rubbed. She was already named Maddie. I don't know if they named her Maddie or if the dog's home had named her Maddie. But I liked the name. Madison Scattergood. Madison, stop that, you little sod. Scattergood is her full name. She loves the Maddie Mobile. Yes, she does. So, yeah, that was Maddie's gotcha day. And I brought her home on the bus and she was as good as gold. And I got home and I introduced her to the cats and Bear was like, oh, great, another mouth. And went back to sleep. And Crow curled up next to her and went to sleep. I've got a lovely photo of the two of them okay, sitting at my desk. That's what she does while I'm working. When I'm working, she sits on my chair like that, usually with her head on the desk, like, while I'm working. Yeah, you're a good girl. You're a good girl, yes. And the rest is history, as they say. Now this one, you want to come up and tell your Mogotchi Day story? Because we always say Maddie was an adoption, because I would have had her from the dog's home. Gently. Good girl. Maddie was an adoption. Gypsy was a failed foster. Scooby was an accident. For those who are not familiar with Gypsy, Gypsy is a full German Shepherd. She's still going strong. She's nearly 10 now. When I had to move from basically a 4-bedroom house to a room in somebody else's house, I asked the rescue that I'd got her from. I originally fostered her, and then she never went anywhere. The foster that I had her from took her, rescue that I had her from took her into foster for me while I looked for somewhere else. And they were aware that it could be like 3 to 4 months before I found somewhere. But the place I'd gone to could only take the 2 small dogs. They weren't prepared to take the big one because she was a biter and they had kids in the house, which is fair enough. And I was paying for her fostering with the rescue. And she went to a really nice lady not far from here who was an ex-rescue worker. She'd owned a rescue herself in Wales. She was an ex-police dog trainer, and she runs, as far as I know, she still runs a walking and hiking type group that goes out 3 or 4 days a week around the wilds of Staffordshire for, quote, older people with big dogs. The idea is that the big dogs get to go out and the older people who perhaps don't have as much mobility get to run their dogs as a pack so that the dogs all get to exercise. And she just fitted in right away. She absolutely fitted in beautifully. The woman from the rescue kept saying, oh, I don't think you should have her back. She was really nasty to me, actually. I was not impressed. That's why I don't work with that rescue anymore. She was really quite nasty to me. She was one of those people, well, if you have to leave your house and you have your dogs, then you should go and live in a tent or something, because like that's practical when you work online. And it was, frankly, all 4 of us be homeless or 3 of us be okay and put Gypsy into foster. And putting Gypsy into foster turned out to be the best thing ever, because this lady, not only did she take to her right away, which Gypsy never, ever liked other people. She was very particular about who she went with. She took to this lady right away. She was actually sat in Lisa's living room when the lady came to pick her up. And she was, yeah, they didn't have a big enough garden or anything. I do, but they didn't. No, the house that I was in previously with the other 2, the 2 were okay, but the garden wasn't big enough for a big dog. The house wasn't big enough for a big dog. It wouldn't have been big enough for Gypsy on her own, in all honesty, because there was kids there and everything else. Hi, you miss Gypsy, don't you? You miss your big sister. I know. Anyway, Gypsy took to this lady right away, and she was literally sat under the dining table, alternating between her head on my knee and her head on Jan's knee. She really took to Jan. And after about a week, I heard from her, and Jan sent me some photos. And Gypsy, who I had never been able to, I'd never been able to trust her off leash, because the only places we had, there was people. And if there was men around or, you know, young teenagers, she would go for them. So I could never let her off leash. I always had to have her on a long lead. And she was out with Jan's other 4 dogs who were still mobile. She had one that wasn't mobile. But her other 4 dogs, and they were swimming in a creek in South Staffordshire. And she said, we'd been there for almost an hour and we couldn't get Gypsy out of the water. She loved it. And I thought, you know what? I can't take that away from her. She blossomed, and she is still blossoming. She, Jan told the rescue that absolutely no way in at all was she ever going anywhere else. She was either coming back to me or Jan was keeping her. Jan didn't want to hear from the woman at the rescue, who was like, oh, we'll find her another foster near her here. We'll have her rescue, readopted, etc., etc. And Jan was like, no, she's going back or she's staying here. That's the only options, because this dog is dangerous. She bites. And we knew that. You know, I knew that, and I was careful with her. She never bit me. She never snapped at me at all. In fact, she never snapped at any of the women. It was always the men she went for. But Jan started her on police dog training, and she started her on the, I think it's called Kaiserhund training, is it? Where they actually teach them to attack. Because her logic was, well, if we teach her to attack, she will start to understand that she can attack, but only when we tell her to. Kind of a reverse psychology thing. It started to work. And at that point, I said to Jan, I'm okay with you adopting her. And she'd gone to her in the July. And just before I moved in here in the August, and I'd said to Jan, I will make a decision in September, because by then I'll have unpacked, we'll be settled in, life will be back to normal, the fences will be done and everything, and we'll be at a point where I will know whether I should take her back or whether I should leave her with you. And mid-September, I said, no, I think she's better off with you. So we left it for a little bit longer. Jan wanted to be absolutely sure. And then in December, Jan said, okay, I'm adopting her. She told the rescue she was adopting her. She literally sent them the adoption fee and said, I'm keeping her. So you taught yours to bark on cue. Yeah, Scooby can talk on cue. Scooby wants his moment on camera. He's going to be coming up in a minute because he wants his moment on camera. But yeah, Gypsy's going from strength to strength. She's 10 now. Since Schutzhound, you think it's called? Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember it. No, I know it's like the people in the Michelin costumes, like all the padding, getting jumped on by really big dogs with really big teeth. But I thought, you know, she was having so much fun. She was with a pack. She was with other dogs. She was getting a lot more exercise. I mean, I used to take her out all the time. I used to take her out 4 or 5 times a day. But she was getting to run with other dogs, which is a whole other thing. She was getting proper training with a woman who understood her and knew. She understood that she could not go to another person. The person at the rescue never understood how bad Gypsy was. And I'm really glad that the chap who put me in touch with Jan, Nick, I am so glad for his help, because with the woman at the rescue, she'd have ended up going back into foster, probably being adopted again, and I think by now she probably either would be back in rescue or she'd have been put down for biting somebody. But Nick put me in touch with this woman who had done police dog training, and he said if anybody can train her, it'll be her. So that's what happened to Gypsy. Occasionally I get people message me and say, do you miss that dog you used to have? What a stupid question. Of course I do. I never have a day goes by where I don't think about her. I did have one update after after Jan adopted her. I got one update to let me know that she was okay, and I've not heard since. I did ask that, you know, whenever it is that she's ill or, you know, passes away or whatever, will they please let me know? But yeah, Jan is the best thing that ever happened to Gypsy, as far as I'm concerned. She came at the right time while Gypsy was still young enough to be retrained. And I'm really glad that she ended up going to her. So, yeah, don't ask silly questions about, do I miss my old dog? Of course I miss my old dog. I didn't want to give her up. I was very, very upset about having to give her up in the first place. And if I hadn't had to move, then I wouldn't have. But it turned out to be the right thing after all, so I'm okay with that. In 2013, on April the 12th, my mum and dad were visiting, and a very nice lady named Mary brought me this crazy little foster down from Preston. He was listed as a 2-year-old German Shepherd cross, but they didn't know what he was. He's actually a German Shepherd collie, border collie, you know, like the black and white ones. And he came from Dogs Trust originally. He had been grown up in a family. The family had autistic children, and they had 3 of them. 3 autistic children is a handful in and of itself. But while they were growing up, it was okay because, you know, while they were little, Scooby was being trained, and it was more a case of train the dog to stay away from the kids. As the kids started moving around, they started going after the dog, and Scooby is a grumpy old man. He is a 95-year-old grumpy old man in a dog's body. He has regular complaints, and he voices them. Scoob? Yeah, definitely GSD, got selective deafness. Watch this. Oh, nice cheesy biscuits. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Would you like a cheesy biscuit, Miss Maggie? There you go. Scoob, come up here. Scooby-Doo, hop up. Good boy. Oh, come sit with Mama. Hi. Do you want a cheesy biscuit? Do you want a cheesy biscuit? You say, please. Please. Oh, he hasn't learned please yet. Do you want paw? Oh, good boy. Very good boy. Very good boy. There you go. Oh, mwah. This is the one who likes to sing along with the Christmas Carol. The Muppets Christmas Carol. Okay, that's it, Maddie. Stop. You're being a brat now. He does have a big snoot. Maddie has a schnoz. This one has a big snoot. He has a big snoot for kissing. Mwah, 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 mwah. Hi. You want to tell them? You want to tell them all your complaints? He's been chatting today on FaceTime with his Nana. You all chatted out. You told Nana all your complaints, didn't you? Hey. Did you tell Nana all about your complaints today? Oh, you don't want to chat today? You don't want to talk to us? Oh, a little bit. A little bit, okay. Talk a little bit. He's usually chatty, I promise. Can't shut him up during class. He's always got something to say, haven't you? Do you want a cheesy biscuit? Tell me. Oh, Maddie wants cheesy biscuit. Scooby-Doo, do you want a cheesy biscuit? You can tell me? No. Today he goes camera shy. But all my students will tell you he chats all the way through class. Anyway. Yeah, it was okay until the kids started moving about a lot. When the oldest started moving about, grumpy old man here started snapping, because if you touch his feet, he doesn't like it. If you make him jump, he'll snap at you. If he's asleep and you make him jump, he'll... Which, of course, they couldn't have with the kids, so he ended up going into rescue. He was with Dogs Trust for a while. But because he was German Shepherd, the local rep for the same German Shepherd place I got Gypsy from said, we'll take him from Dogs Trust as a German Shepherd. And they marketed him. They've marketed his rescue as a mini German Shepherd for people who wanted a German Shepherd, but they couldn't have a big dog. He's a miniature German Shepherd, aren't you, Boo-Boo? Are you a mini Shepherd? Are you a mini Shepherd? Are you? You're not talking today. You're not chatting today. Do you all chatted out from talking to Nana? You are? You all chatted out? Oh, Boo-Boo. Oh, you do have some complaints. You do have, he has a few complaints. He likes to talk in the car, yeah. He answers questions. He talks in the car. He never shuts up in the car. He talks to people in the window. He talks to people on the phone. I was on the phone to somebody the other day at Barclaycard, and he started chatting. He was on the radio. Yep, he was on Radio 1 Stoke because I rang up. They were doing the drive time thing with Jez Drinkwater. And he was asking for people to tell him if there were any things on the roads, you know, like they do, that hadn't been mentioned. And they hadn't mentioned the massive traffic jam that was going on just up the road from me because of an accident. Usually they get informed by the police, but for some reason they weren't putting it out. So I called up, and the minute he said, hello, Radio 1, Radio 1 Stoke, Signal Radio 1, whatever it was they say, he started in the background. And he said, is that a dog? I'm like, yeah, that's my dog. Yeah. He's telling you the traffic updates. So we gave him the information. He took our names. And he said, and what's your dog's name? I said, Scooby. Right, he says, I'll give you a shout out on the radio. Thanks for letting us know. Well, shout out normally means, you know, X, Y, and Z called up from wherever and said about this. No, by the time we got home, they'd edited the conversation to the point where it was just him answering the phone and Scooby-Doo going, and he's like, oh, really? And where's this happening? Oh, okay. And yeah, he was on the radio, and Jez said, right, well, fortunately I speak dog, so I can tell you that what he means is, and told him about the road situation. He said, I'm assuming he called up because his mum's driving. I was like, oh my God, my dog is on the radio. I wasn't fast enough to record it, unfortunately. I wish I had been, because it was really funny. He edited the chat, so he was talking to the dog instead of me. It was brilliant. But anyway, April 12th, my mum and dad were there visiting. My mum was not feeling very well, so she'd been sitting downstairs while me and my dad were putting some furniture together, I think, together upstairs. And Mary turned up with this one. Maddie was busy supervising Grandpa, because that's what she does. Gypsy was out of the way in a spare room so that she didn't stop having a go at anybody. And this one came. And he was so nervous. He was so like this all the time. He'd been in the kennel for about 3 hours the night before, and all he'd done was howl. And the woman who owned the kennel said, I never ever do this with dogs that I rescue, because you never know what diseases they might have. They've often got fleas and so on. Until they've had their baths and treatments, we don't do this. But she said he was so upset, and it was heartbreaking listening to him. So I brought him in and I put him in the kitchen. And that's when they asked for a foster. And I said, oh, well, I could take him for a few weeks. Yeah. And then that happened, isn't it? This is the face he made at my mum. He sat and talked to my mum. My mum was sat with him like this on the sofa for about 3 hours while we were doing stuff. And by the time I came back down, she'd got him totally calm. He was asleep. He was curled up next to her. Not a care in the world. He's still a bit nervy. See, even there, I touch him and he jumps. He's just the way he is. He's a bit of a, you know, we have to give him calms for puppies, don't we? When there's fireworks going on. Because he just is a bag of nerves. But, yeah, he kind of grew on us. He's always been a lovely boy. He's actually very well trained. He does everything you ask him to. He understands hand signals and everything, which is good because I practice my BSL with him. So, yeah, I know. You're a good boy, aren't you? I'm going to tell everybody what a good boy you are. You are a good boy, that's right. His Santa Paws coming. Has Santa Claus got you on his good boy list? Are you on Santa's good boy list? Are you? Are you on Santa's good boy list? He doesn't know. He's very confused. He just doesn't know. He's very confused. Let me kiss the boot. Mwah. Kiss the snoot. Boop the snoot. Boop, boop, boop. See, he's moaning now. He's like, Mum, stop it. Doing that in public. Aye, yeah, I know. Anyway, nobody showed any interest in him at all. We put him on the foster thing. We put him on newsletters. We took him to events, all sorts. Nobody ever showed any interest in him. Nobody ever even asked about him. And it came to sort of August, and I said to my mum in passing, she said, what's happening with him? And I said, well, to be honest, if he's not adopted soon, I think he might be staying. And then it was Christmas Eve, wasn't it, my Maddie? And I said, Miss Maddie, what do you want for Christmas? And she said, I want a big brother. I want a big moany brother that I can take the mickey out of, Mama. So we let Scooby stay. Isn't that right, Boo? So Maddie was a rescue, Gypsy was a foster fail, and Scooby was Maddie's Christmas present. Isn't that Boo right, Boo? And he's never forgiven me since. Hi, baby girl. And this is what happens. I sit down and suddenly there's a cuddle pile. So there you go. The cats, incidentally, Bear passed away 2 days before I took in Gypsy, which was the only reason I was free to take in Gypsy, because there was no way I could have taken her in if I'd still had both cats. Funny story, the day I walked in with Gypsy, Crow, this tiny little thing, who probably was about the size of Scooby's head, sat in the middle of the room. Gypsy walked up to her very cautiously and Crow smacked her around the head like, this is my house, I'm in charge. Gypsy was like, oh, okay then. Want to snuggle? Hi, baby. Hi there. No kisses. No, no kisses. No, no kisses. No cheese biscuits, no kisses, Mama. That's how it works. Yeah, cuddle pile. Usually Maddie's sat up behind me here with her head on my shoulder. I think Maddie's was the most uncanny story because I really, I really took to her the first time I met her. And then it just happened that these other people got her and I ended up with her anyway. This guy just kind of happened. Mwah. Yeah, don't do it in public, Mum. Don't do it in public, Mum. So technically Scooby's gotcha day is tomorrow because I decided on Christmas Eve. It's Christmas, he's still here, we're keeping him. But we do his gotcha day on April the 12th because it kind of spreads it out a bit. And then Crow passed away before I left the big house. That was back in the day when I had a flatmate and we had Arnie. He was your buddy, wasn't he? Arnie. Do you remember Arnie? You remember Arnie? Yes, you do. Yeah, you remember Arnie. Arnie wasn't my dog. He was my flatmate's dog. So that's it. That's all about my puppers. We know how old Maddie is. Maddie was 8 months when I got her. She was born April 23rd. So her birthday is April 23rd. And her gotcha day is today. And Scooby we found out after I adopted him, Dogs Trust sent me his papers, and we found out he was actually born on St. Patrick's Day, which is why they don't have their collars on at the moment because the heating's on. It gets too hot for them. But that's why he has a shamrock. He has a green shamrock on his collar. And Maddie has a black pirate thing. And Gypsy used to have a pink princess crown. But when Jan adopted her, Jan sent me her princess crown back. Because obviously it had my name on it. Can I ask you something about the Christmas party giveaway? Yes. I haven't put anything up yet. But yes, you can ask. I'm sorry, I've been having a day off. But they will be going up very soon. Oh, rub the scruff. Rub the scruff. Oh, rub the scruff. You right, boo? You're such a good boy. Oh, where to find them? Yeah, it's in the Christmas party group where the thing was, but I haven't put them up yet. Sorry, I streamed for 9 hours yesterday. We had food and basically just passed out and then went to bed when we woke up on the sofa. You find it crazy you've been watching me that long? You remember that? Yeah. Sorry, I haven't been able to watch chat because it's a bit further away than I'm used to. Yeah, it was a long stream yesterday. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was a long stream. I'm ready to get tomorrow over with now and then say, right, that's it. That's me done till January. But, ew, Scoob, what are you doing? Stop licking me. He likes to lick fabric. He's a weirdo, aren't you? Are you weird? You are. Okay. You are. You're very weird. Okay. Can I pull your ears? Not that one. I can pull this one. Okay. You're such a funny boy. So, any other questions, or shall we go snuggle? Go snuggle. Do you want to snuggle, boo-boo? I'm already snuggling. Look at his face. His eyes have not left that packet of cheese biscuits since he got up here. One of my cats likes to lick the dust off the mini blinds. That is weird. Should you put your ears up like that, like a bunny rabbit? Should make you a bunny rabbit? Or we could do that and make you a reindeer. Do they sleep constant at night? Scoob does. Scoob's like me. He likes to go to bed late, have a lie in, and not get up in between times. Maddie's up and down and up and down and up and down. Maddie's a power napper. She sleeps for 20 minutes and then she runs around like a lunatic for an hour. And then she sleeps for 20 minutes and she runs around for like a lunatic for an hour. Whereas he's very much kind of, okay, it's time to go to bed. And then that's it. He doesn't even want me to, like, Maddie will wake me up to get me to let her out. She'll come and jump on me to get me to let her out in the middle of the night if she needs to pee. He'll just hold it till the morning. He's not interested. I can try and wake him up to get him to come out and pee when Maddie gets up. And he's like, no, it's okay. He sits like this with the blanket. And all you can see is his eyebrow and his ears. And he's like, no, I'm not here. Go on without me. We can go on without you, can't we, boo? As long as you're comfy. What if Mummy had to move right now? I bet you'd moan, wouldn't you? Mummy does have to move because Mummy's falling over. There you go, see? Mummy has to move, though. Yours go to bed at 9:30. And that's it till I get up. Oh, well, Scooby sleeps through. Maddie's pretty good, but she does wake me up. She doesn't wake the rest of us up unless she needs to go out. But she has been known to be doing zoomies in the kitchen in the middle of the night. Aren't you? Hi. Should I get back up here now? Because it's my gotcha day, not yours. Oh, I know. Oh, I promised cheese biscuit, didn't I? I'm sorry. Sit nicely then. Sit nicely. Good boy. There you go. Do you want one? You want one, Maddie? You want a cheese biscuit? You want a cheese biscuit? Ask nicely then. Ask nicely if you can have a cheese biscuit. Good girl. She looks like a velociraptor coming for you, but she's actually quite gentle. It's not her teeth you have to watch out for, it's her claws. Your cat wakes you up every morning at 6. Hi! Now you want to talk. Yeah, he says, I want to talk cheese biscuits. Let's talk cheese biscuits, Mum. You going to sing? You going to sing for us? Oh, Aru. Good boy. Aru. Yes, Aru. Good boy. You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. Right. That's it. We gotta go do Maddie's favourite pastime now. We gotta do Maddie's favourite pastime now. We gotta go to the park. Yeah. Because just across the road there's a park. And that's what we asked. Hi, baby. Oh, I know. Go on then. Right, we're going. Thanks for joining us, and hope that's answered the doggy questions. I'll be on tomorrow afternoon. We're going to do a afternoon Christmas Eve kind of not having to be out with people. We did the out with people thing today for about 5 minutes. It was not fun. I don't recommend it. So we'll be doing Christmas Eve on here. Shush. We'll be doing Christmas Eve journaling here, having a nice quiet Christmas Eve if you'd like to join us. Bye.